Hey guys, it's Beck from Sassy Pigeon HQ and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to be setting up for the month of September in my bullet journal, and it's the Boba Tea journal from my Etsy shop. I've only been in this journal for a couple of months, so I'm just going to stick something under this front cover to help even out my page. For the bulk of my planning for 2026, I'm planning to use a Hobonichi Cousin Avec for the first time ever, and I'm really excited. I'll still use a bullet journal, but I'll just do less planning and more things that make me happy in my bullet journal and memory keeping, that kind of thing. So for the last half of 2025, I've decided to simulate the Hobonichi Cousin a little bit in my journal. I've got all the calendars at the front, I've got all this space for my weekly spreads measured out, and then I've got 3 pages after that I can use for dailies or anything else I choose. And I'm excited because this is so different to how I would normally use a bullet journal. Anyhoozle, I'm going with the Birds and Bees monthly kit from Planning with Kay. I'm really excited to use this theme because it's the first month of spring in Australia. I've also got all these other random sheets that I thought might be handy, like this number strip, which I actually forget about and use a different one later, but that's okay. So let's get into planning. Just an FYI, I've been homesick all week with a cold, so if my voice is a bit hoarse, that is why. I'm going to start setting up this calendar spread with one of these header stickers, and it's about here I realised that the header stickers won't actually fit across the top of the page. Once I added in the strips of the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday lettering across the top of the calendar, I realised that these header stickers sometimes won't actually fit. So it's a pretty tight squeeze. I'm just going to pull out some scissors and give this one a little bit of a trim because I think that will do the trick and I'll be able to fit it in there. After all, it is going to stick out a little bit across the top of the page, but I just don't really care. Just getting on with it. Just going in with a September header sticker now. I've lost these header sticker sheets so many times since starting this bullet journal that I have no consistency with font or anything because I just have to pick from what I can find. I really need to designate it an actual home. I use my tweezers because I have no imagination and it just helps make me see what's balanced. Because I do it all by eye, I don't bother measuring, and it's just easier to get your fingers out of the way to be able to see with the tweezers. They're really helpful. So just going in with this almost postage stamp looking sticker down the bottom for some added decoration, and then I'm going to use the Tombow to highlight every second line in this kind of little notes area. I'm just going to block off the sides with some washi tape so that I can get a really crisp line either side and I don't have bleeding outside of that space. If I'd done this again, I would have started my lines from the bottom so that I got that bottom line right where I wanted it, and then I would have worked my way up, and it would have meant that the lines were alternate to where they are, and there would have just been a slightly bigger gap at the top, which also would have been fine because I would have just covered it with the sticker, as you'll see in a second. So I'm just removing the washi tape. I don't need that anymore. It's done its job. Looks crispy, love it. And now I'm just going to go in with this monthly overview sticker and a little bit more decoration on this bottom of the page. I've been really enjoying these little mini calendars. Normally I would do a calendar spread over the full 2 pages, but these little mini ones have just been really good, and they're also replacing my future log. So this journal doesn't have a future log in it at all, which I would normally have in the front of every journal. And so instead the calendars are already there if I need to enter something in ahead of time, which has been really convenient. I've chosen this pink little hibiscus flower to put as the last bit of decoration on my monthly overview, and I'm just going to go in with another bee. I think these bees are so cute and I love them, so I try to put them everywhere as much as I can. I thought the calendar could use a little bit of extra colour, so I'm just going to go in with the Tombow again, highlighting these lines above the calendars. Would have been ideal if I thought about this before putting in this bee sticker, but generally the Planning with Kay stickers, as long as you've only just kind of put them down, they're pretty easy to get back up. So I was able to pick up that bee, do the colouring in the calendar, and then I can just put the bee straight back and it sticks down again, no problem. Once I've finished colouring in all these lines above the calendar, I'm going to go in with a Pigma Micron. I believe I use the 005. It's the finest pen that I have. And I'm just going to go in and put in all the dates of the calendar, which is something that I very often forget to do, especially on weekly spreads. Quite often I just don't even bother putting in the date of the week. I don't know why, but when I do notice it, I'll come back and fix it. But often you'll see my spreads without the dates on. So that's it for setting up on this calendar, and now we're going to move over to the weekly section of my bullet journal. Now, I'm not going to lie, going to this weekly kind of style has been a bit of an adjustment for me, and I've been missing a few things for the last few months. So I've added in a bit more of a dashboard for this month. I've included some space throughout my weeklies to be able to do a dashboard for each month going forward. I know the Hobonichi Cousin doesn't really have space in it for these dashboards, but I'm just going to add these elements to the daily pages if I need to, because I don't think I'll use up the full daily pages all of the time. So right now on the left hand side of this dashboard, you can see that I'm setting up a list of meals that we have for the week. I really don't enjoy the header that I just made for this, so I'm going to try and fix it. I'm not in love. And ironically, after I fix it, I'm not in love with what I've done either, but that's okay. We'll just persevere because it doesn't have to be perfect. I just need to know what it is. So I'm going to cover it with this strip that's come from Planning with Kay sticker kit. But I'm just going to lift up these number dots first to make sure that the number 1 isn't covered. And then that means I also don't have to cut down this strip either, because I can't be bothered. That's too much work. I think in future I'd really like to pay some more attention to and practice more of my lettering. I know when it comes to headers like this and stuff, I don't really practice. I don't lead pencil it out. I don't really put much thought at all into what I'm doing, and therefore I end up with these mistakes that I don't enjoy, and I don't know what I was expecting if I wasn't going to actually do it properly. So some more practice might be a good idea for me, or even just a plan, like a font plan beforehand would be good. So I'm just going to go in with my Fudenosuke hard tip brush pen and try again. And like I said, it's still shit. But that's okay. We'll just get on with it. I will be able to make my list of meals though for the month, which is what I want to see. I just want to see the variety the family's having, and if there's anything that we're kind of missing that we could add in there. It's just interesting to be able to look back on and see what's going on. And just to add a bit of formality and separation, I'm just going to add a faint line down the side just to separate it off from the rest of the page. On the right hand side, I'm going in with a self-care bingo page. I've really missed this page. I've had them so many times this year, and I really enjoy just being a bit more mindful about what's going on and what I'm doing for myself, and being able to cross things off a list obviously is always fun. So I'm just going in with a header sticker at the bottom, another one of the bees because I love them, and I'm going to go in with a hummingbird sticker at the top next to my header because why not? Now this header I at least tried a little bit. I'm going in with my Tombow dual brush pen again with the brush tip, and I'm just writing in self-care in a capitalized font across the top, and then I'm writing bingo across the bottom in a cursive font. I'm surprised how nicely the cursive kind of panned out because I didn't try very hard or go slowly for that. And then because the pen is quite light, although it does show up more in person than on the video, I'm just going to go around the outline with the 005 Pigma Micron again. If you're ever unsure about headers, I find that this type of lettering is always really easy and it always looks quite effective. Just writing your font out in a marker and then outlining it. Super easy way to go if you need a little bit of inspo or help. And obviously you can change the color up, you can change the font, or you can even do where you color in the bottom half of the word again with the texter and make it darker. P.S. A texter is what we call a marker in Australia. Just going to go in with a broader tip Pigma Micron now to fill out my self-care bingo page. I always use a Pigma Micron for this because it's permanent ink, so once it's dried, even if you colour over it with another texter or marker, it won't smudge. So I've always got things in here that are easy to check off, like wash my hair and change my sheet, stuff I'll do anyway, and then a little bit of extra things that I can really think about for myself and spoil myself with. Flipping the page now to set up for the next fortnight, and I just want to show you a little bit of a hack. I want to divide this page into 7 equal pieces vertically. This is not going to line up with a 5mm dot grid, being that it's 19 centimeters from top to bottom. So instead, I need to make my ruler measure a number that is divisible by 7 from the top to the bottom of the page. And for this example, I'm using 21. 21 divided by 7 is 3, so I'm just going to go down and mark in 3 centimeter spaces down the page. So now I'll come back with my Pigma Micron and my ruler, and I'm going to, as straight as I can, rule across these lines all the way down the page, giving me 7 equal spaces that I needed to put in my fortnightly spread. Isn't this just so cool? You could use this for so many different purposes to get you the equal space that you need with your bullet journal when it doesn't line up with a 5mm dot grid, which can be really annoying. You always end up with one box that's bigger or one box that's smaller. So this way we don't have to do that anymore. Amazing, right? Also, my apologies because I saw this on a reel ages ago and I can't find it anywhere, and I wanted to credit the person that I learnt it from. I'll keep an eye out and share it in the future if I do come back across them. So to continue on with my fortnightly spread now, I'm just going to go through the center with these dots. I've really been liking this layout. I have used it a few times recently, and just to not take up any extra room, I just put the day of the week through the center so it can apply to both boxes, and then I'll put in the date underneath it. It took me a little while to decide on which days of the week I wanted across these stickers, but I've gone with these little round blue ones, which I think came with the original Hummingbird sticker kit from Planning with Kay. You can see here that this backing sticker sheet has a memo card stuck to the back of it with holes punched in, and that's because when I have finished using a sticker kit for a setup, I will then add it to a folder, which is just a collation of all of my random stickers that is not quite a full kit, but are still going to come in handy down the track. Just adding in this long decoration sticker to add some separation between the pages. I think this one is so pretty. I really love all the colours, and it's really giving me those spring vibes that I was hoping for. Across the bottom of this right hand page, I'm going to make a habit tracker, and the habit tracker is going to be long enough to track the habits for both weeks. Although ironically, as I record this, the first week of that fortnight has already been, we're on the last day of it today, and I've been sick all week with a cold, so I did not maintain any habits whatsoever all week. I'm not going to do it now on video. I want to give the pen a little bit of extra time to dry, but I will come back in with the Tombow and I'm going to colour in every second line down that box just for a bit of separation, which helps when you're filling out your habits for the day or the week. And I just didn't want to smudge that black ink if it hadn't dried yet. Just going in with a sticker now across the top, a little header sticker and a hummingbird, which adds a nice little pop of colour in the bottom. And I'm also going to add a habit tracker label across this green sticker, question mark, so that it all looks really cute and it has a label. Luckily, we're just about at the end now, so I can go back to bed. I've had to edit out all my coughing, but I'm just going to go in now with one or more of these little stamp looking stickers and a to-do list because I always need one. I'm using one of these to-do list stickers, which I always find are a bit too long for my liking, so I generally will cut them in half so you've got to-do on one line and list on another line. And following that, I'm going to go in with a strip sticker, which is of circle checklist dots. Both the to-do list sticker and the checklist dots come on a freebie sheet with every order you place with Planning with Kay. Her stickers are just so good. That's why I'm always using them, because I love them for bullet journaling, which was what they were designed for, I guess. So for the first time in forever, I'm just coming through now because I've remembered to put in my dates of the week, and I'm doing that with my Tombow Futonosuke hard tip brush pen. And that, my friends, if you've made it to the end of the video with me, is the end of my September setup. So I've got my first fortnight of September, I've got my dashboard with plenty of space for filling in extra things, and we've got the calendar spread at the front there, all ready to go. I really love this setup and I hope you guys have too. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye!